everybody, welcome to Meek's Bottom Line.
Hey, Meek.
Hey, I got Noop, I got Cousin Rocky, I got Adrian. We're missing our other cousin Rocky, but he's reffing tonight. So kudos to a ref, you know what I'm saying?
My
but
cousin Rocky.
For him. We're gonna talk a little bit about Dallas, and I mean like real little bit, like
Dallas won. That's it. Move on.
Not even okay. So our Eagles won.
And we did. Good fashion. They look really good. They ran the ball.
Look at that. All right. So a couple stats. We had 386 total yards. We had 214 rushing. We had 172 receiving. And surprisingly enough, Jalen Hurts was not the top rusher. Howard was, and then Boston Scott. 80 yards respectively. Yep. And Jalen Hurts had 53 yards. 14 carries. So what do you guys see?
Well, don't forget to mention the birthday boy. He had 2 touchdowns. Give him his props.
I'm sorry.
I'm a birthday boy too. I didn't know we shared the same birthday.
Oh, it was your birthday,
Rob. Thank you. It's Sierra's birthday today.
It is. Well, that's today. It is Sierra. Happy birthday, Sierra.
Yeah.
I have to text her. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we'll leave that on the table. Anyway,
my bottom line is surprisingly, they gave me something to hope for and to be excited in again. Like I started not expecting much, but it's like when you don't expect much, you are so appreciative when they produce like they did. It we're clicking on all cylinders, and it was exciting to watch. And I missed the first touchdown, and I saw the field goal, and I was like, and then I saw the Broncos tie it, and I was like, this is where it goes off the rails. But no, they still punched it, and they tied at 10, and they still punched it, and kept it was a fun
game.
Yeah,
it wasn't even competitive necessarily. They were clicking.
Okay.
I thought they were clicking, and the Broncos couldn't get anything together. They were, they couldn't get the momentum going. Kind of saw, but I was, you're waiting for us to turn it around, to give up the lead and to do dumb stuff, and we never did it. And I was like, this is what I've been talking about.
And it's also refreshing because we saw what Denver did to Dallas last week. They really smacked Dallas down. Like Dallas didn't have much. The 16 points had to have been at the end of the game because they had already turned that game.
I'm gonna tell you the problem with Dallas. The problem probably with Dallas is they didn't get up for that game. They've been riding this wave and this this confidence, and was like, oh, we can just go and handle them, and they got shocked, and which they probably thought the same about us, and we shocked them. So you have to play every game.
What's funny about this season with any team, like all teams look beatable. Like no one, like the Seahawks had.
You see what happened to the Bucks? You see what happened to the Bucks playing Washington?
Yeah.
What a dunk it.
Well, listen, that goes back to the old cliche of any given Sunday. Like you really, you can't count nobody out. You never know who's going to show up that day.
And our time of possession was 34 minutes and 58 seconds, and as opposed to Denver's 25:02. So we are finding that rushing the ball does work. We all knew it.
We're not finding that out.
Right. The coach is finding out.
The coach is finally finding out that that's the best thing for them is that,
You mean what they're screaming, run. It really works. Yes.
It depends on the team too. I think yesterday was just a good game. They just weren't prepared for us, and they didn't want to get prepared for us because they took us for granted. So we were able to, you disagree, Kevin?
No, I don't disagree. Well, what I'm trying to say is it's not necessarily the team. It's just a fact that our offensive line is better off when we're running the ball. They can control the line better when we're running, opposed to, back on their heels trying to protect him for a pass. Although we found out that the run opened up the pass. So disagreeing. I just was trying to elaborate on not necessarily
what happened too. That's exactly what happened.
Our offensive line is more
and the longer we're together, the better we're going to get. So it might not just be any given Sunday. It's just, we're getting to know each other. It's a new thing. So I think
you can't have a second-year quarterback passing the ball that many times a game. Like you can't. He's learning a new offense. he's trying to find his own rhythm. So I mean, by running the ball, like sort of going back to what Noop said, it just makes him comfortable back there. Running the ball, gets him more comfortable, gets him in the groove. Seems like it gets everybody in the groove. I mean, the offense looked damn good even without him throwing the long ball.
Yeah, pretty good. His accuracy yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's a new quarterback and a new coach. It's two news.
Yeah.
It's new.
And the thing about it is too, like Denver has that's the strong point of their team, which is their secondary. And I mean, he carved them apart. Like, Jalen Hurts in that game plan, they really carved them apart. So yeah, it was a good game.
And we had one turnover. Look at us.
And we had a defensive pick six. So that's what I like.
Yeah. It was some really great highlights yesterday.
I didn't know we had a pick six.
Well, okay, a fumble recovery, and he ran it in for a touchdown. Okay,
that was awesome,
Mr.
That was
I just didn't remember.
Perfectionist.
Yeah.
A fumble recovery that we got a touchdown on. Let me say it
It's different than a pick six, Adrian. I'm sorry.
It is.
Okay, that's all I wanted to make clear.
We did pick it up.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Hey, there you go. New terminology.
We had a pick up six.
Pick up six. Yeah.
There you get a pass, okay?
That's one of my favorite plays.
Well, then we still need a pick six. I'm not gonna be satisfied till we get a pick six.
Yeah, well, we have
Slate.
2 weeks in a row now. They had some turnovers, so that's good.
And our special teams with the block.
Yeah, with the block. Yeah.
Again.
I was cooking. I didn't.
Now, I mean, with 17 games, you guys want to talk playoffs yet, or what? What are we doing here?
That's what they were talking about today. I don't know.
Playoffs.
Oh no, that's kind of.
I'm still not a Philadelphia fan that's going to say we're
going to win the Super Bowl
bound. Look,
we are until we're not.
I'm not going to count us out until it's over.
Well, that's true. All right.
And like I said, because the week before I was saying that I'm about done. But all they had to do is get another win, and here I am.
You're back in there. You're back in there.
Yeah,
we got a lot of ground to cover.
Probably 7 to 8.
That's okay.
Probably get into the playoffs.
One game at a time.
Well, we got New Orleans.
There's not gonna be enough games left.
I was just ready to ask that. I know you had to schedule it.
We have New Orleans, then we have the Giants, then we have the Jets, then we have a bye. Washington and the Giants. We should win.
And look,
they easy. We'll play Dallas
like 4 or 5
play Dallas again.
So we pretty much in our,
it's our division now, except for the Saints. And the Saints lost their quarterback, but did they win yesterday?
The Saints win yesterday. I don't think so.
Seriously, Adrian, that's the only great going. I was on the wrong.
My excuse is
I think they did win. Actually, they did win.
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you who they won against. I'm gonna say that they
won.
I just have to note this because I'm a fan. Cam is back.
And so he said.
That's what he said.
I'm back.
He said last week he was on his couch eating cereal. This week, I'm back.
How many touchdowns? Oh, you gotta love him.
I do. For him.
I wish we would have taken it.
No, he's right where he needs to be.
You never know what Jalen's gonna do.
Yeah.
Another big question: what's going to happen with Boston? I'm a fan of Boston Scott, so I'm kind of glad that it has his time to shine. But Miles Sanders is supposed to be coming back. What they're saying? What you say?
I think if the man is hot, you keep playing him.
Right. I mean, how to utilize all of them because I believe what's his name, Jordan
Howard. Yeah,
he came back too and did some good running for us.
He did. He was first time pressure yesterday.
So I just say they got to use them all.
So they don't get tired, don't get injured, don't get beat up.
Rotate them.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to talking about the Saints and Philly next week. Shifting gears to our Sixers. Oh, our Sixers.
I don't really say all. I just think for us to be playing with the minimal players that we have, the minimal amount of players, like we got an eight bench, 8-man bench or something.
And they're just running out of gas.
Well,
it just looks like they're running out of
3 people to rotate
by the end of the game.
Yeah, and even with that, I mean they're in the games.
Yeah, they're not blowout
Right, that's
games.
what I meant. For it
Yeah.
to be that,
They're in the game.
second string, they still running.
Well,
It's just when them guys come back.
It's a lack of
games.
substituting. They're not getting
Well,
enough.
or a
time.
lack of
Yeah.
substance. But how is Joel still out and Aaron Rodgers is back in and didn't he have COVID too?
Don't ask that, because I'm gonna tell you why. Say no. Anyway,
Okay. You're like,
I think
The protocols are different.
what does they call that? Asystematic? Is that what they call it?
Who was
Oh,
asymptomatic? Aaron Rodgers was asymptomatic and Joel had symptoms.
symptomatic, yeah, not
Yeah.
symptomatic.
Joel was symptomatic and Aaron Rodgers was asymptomatic.
I think
Is that
so.
why he's back?
Yeah, it was
So
something.
Aaron
like-
Rodgers didn't have symptoms.
Yeah,
he just
So
tested
that's why he's back.
positive.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
He was sick.
so I don't suppose
Joel
Joel.
didn't say Joel didn't say he was vaccinated. The other boy did.
Well, I thought
Oh.
you had to be vaccinated. Oh, that's different states that mandate that you have
Yeah.
to be in the NBA.
So on that note, I would question why is he back and he's not. In other words, he should have had to sit out just for falsifying statements saying that he
Was Joel out when we played New York those 2 times? Was he already out? Because in New York, you have to be vaccinated. So did Joel play in New York at all?
I'm trying to.
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
When he played, he missed.
So,
Well,
so
he
they
came
played the Knicks, then we played the Bucks. So we played the Bucks.
played the
next
Knicks
day,
the first
he didn't
game.
play then he didn't play the Bucks. He didn't play with Giannis.
No, he didn't.
I'm
So
not
the day
talking.
before is when they played the Knicks, and I'm not sure. I don't think he played. I don't think.
I don't think he played either.
He didn't.
That was only the day before.
Right, well, the one game he missed wasn't due to the COVID. It was he's supposed to have re-injured the knee and he was resting.
Right.
And then-
Okay, so
He
on
played
October 26th, he played when we played the Knicks. That's the first time we played the Knicks. He played. So he's vaccinated, is my point, because
Yes,
you can't
he's
go
not out due
into-
to not being vaccinated. He's out because
Right.
he caught it.
I
Oh.
understand that, but I'm just saying he is vaccinated because you
Right.
can't play in New York if you aren't. I'm just quashing that, rumor. He played, so he has to be vaccinated to play in New York. It's a mandate.
Yeah, he's vax. I think I heard
He's
him say it
vax.
too.
I was talking about the November 8th game.
Well, yeah, I'm just confirming that he's vaccinated. I'm not
Okay.
saying
Oh.
because you can't play. And was that in New York? First of all, if that wasn't in New
Oh,
York?
I
then
don't know. I think that was home.
And my statement was he wasn't playing because he wasn't vaccinated.
No, I'm just saying that he's back, but I don't know if he's vaccinated because I don't know where we played. I think we played in New York that first one. Anyway,
They would have announced that he's
Neither nor there.
not being vaccinated.
Well, here we go with the next problem because we're going out west. So as of tomorrow, we'll be out west. We got Utah, Denver, Portland, Sacramento, the Warriors, and the Timberwolves.
Ouch.
Yeah, and it was a couple of other West games. So we're going to be out west for a minute. And, hopefully we'll get a portion of our team back. I do love the way we're playing. I mean, Maxi's been on and
Max is on.
Maxi's
He's
been
on.
showing up and showing out.
The
I
whole
think
team.
what it shows me is we are so average without Joel.
Yeah.
We are just an average team that there's no one to make up that void for Joel.
Mhm.
Of course not.
We definitely need him. I don't care about the 3-pointers. It seems like 3-pointers don't go down when Joel's not there. I don't know what it is. Like it takes off the pressure of the other players. I mean, if he's in a game, the other players have some, but not as much pressure because they got to guard Joel. So
Right.
once we get him back, I'm hoping because we were on a run.
Anybody know when he's coming back or?
Well, he
I
had to
didn't
be
see
out
anything. He
I
had
think
10
it was-
days.
10 days or until he give up a negative result or something like when he gets tested.
Oh, yeah, like a result. Okay.
So we don't know. I don't know, but they play tomorrow at 10 versus Utah.
I ain't gonna see that.
I mean, half of these games I'm not going to see.
I don't see 10
They're
o'clock
all late.
at all.
They're all late. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Yeah, the West Coast game.
The West
gotta-
games.
just
Set the
gotta record
DVR
it.
for the West games.
You got to record it. Yep. But yeah, I guess we'll keep a close eye on the Sixers and
Any movement on Ben?
Ah! Who did what?
And who?
We
I don't
moved
even
from
mention it.
Ben.
Like, it's like he's not even on the team to me. Like, I don't
I'm
even.
not talking about trade movement, anything, because I
heard
know they said that he wasn't going to the team doctors and then he agreed to go to the team doctors, at least give some type of, no?
I haven't heard anything this week.
I haven't heard any more news. Yeah, Clutch Sports.
Not this week.
So are we paying him or no? We still aren't paying him?
Well, no, that's what it is. They're not paying him if he doesn't.
That's my
information.
That's what I thought he did. Because I thought he did like on Friday or something like that, agree to go to the doctors or turn over some report.
Right, I heard something like that, but they
did
didn't.
too, but I haven't heard of them paying them though.
Yeah, they never.
Yeah, release that to the news if they're paying them. I'm sure too now it's probably based on consistency too.
What's that, Rock?
I said I'm sure now too it's probably based on consistency too. Like they really fine line his contract now.
Right, yeah, they on his
Like,
good.
yeah.
Well, they're talking about the commissioner getting involved.
Like, because I think now too, what's going to happen is too, see now, my personal opinion, I think now that where you know in this situation the Sixers are just going hand in hand with him. I think now the NBA is going to jump in it because the NBA doesn't want to be looked at and made a mockery of all this because he's just using loopholes.
Well,
So I think the NBA gonna step in sooner or later. And mark my word, that's just my opinion. I just think the NBA is gonna step in sooner or later and try to and like really fine tooth his contract, and you'll probably start seeing some new stuff lately. I just had that feeling because the NBA is being made a mockery, and they're not gonna allow that.
I'd say the best thing that happened for Ben was the issue with the Phoenix Suns owner, because they had to focus their attention on that for a little bit. So they kind of put Ben to the sideline. But yeah, when they get their brothers together and get back on this thing, I think that was what they were saying before the NBA. If the Sixers continue to find him, the NBA could step in and say, you know,
I didn't even know
something.
That. Yeah, because you can't do that. Like they're not gonna allow that. They're not gonna allow him to make a mockery of the league. So they're gonna really start to rev it up a little bit. And it's funny too, I actually did hear this part of this too, like last week. It's funny you haven't heard anything about the union. The union like talking about like backing Ben and all of this. Like the NBA union, the Players Association and stuff like that. You haven't heard one bit from them during this whole ordeal. This whole thing, you haven't heard anything.
I think the idea of the NBA was that he's such a well-known player. They wanted him to play. So I think they were going to make the Sixers or suggest the Sixers change their terms for releasing him to get him on another team because he's one of the stars of the NBA and they want to get him back on the floor. So somehow they're going to undermine something that the Sixers are doing or try to find a cohesiveness to get him traded. So whatever he was holding out for, like you have to compromise or, you know, and get him out of there. So it could work to benefit if the NBA gets involved.
I think it's overdue. I think they should have stepped in already.
It's too stagnant. Like you have to do something.
It's been we're going on close to a year. We're going through this saga. And, you know, nobody from besides the Sixers camp and Ben's camp has really done anything else. I mean, the players are, but for some kind of concrete solution, you know, it's showing that management can't handle it because this is a sick circle.
Well, it's not that they can't handle it. They're being stubborn. We're not going to give in to his demands. Like, we're not going to play his game.
And that's fair.
We have a collective bargaining agreement. Like, we have it in the contract.
Mediation, right? It's time for some kind of mediation because the sides just aren't coming to an agreement. So
what it is because the jig is up. See what it is? He's trying to manipulate them with that old mental thing. Because first, see, he planned on them by saying he wasn't mentally ready. See, there's a difference in saying you're not mentally ready, meaning like
you have a mental issue.
There you go, and that's the big thing. Because his agent came on and made a statement like at halftime. I forgot what game it was. This was either the game, not last game, but I think the game before that. I think it was when the agent come on and make an announcement about how they're making it worse for him, and his
Right.
mental illness because, you know, they putting pressure on him about coming back because they had sent him the schedule. I
Mhm.
believe it was a Thursday or something. They sent him the schedule, like, you know, you showing
gotta
up
show
or
up.
what?
Right.
And so he really, you know, supposed to have spazzed out again or something. And then that's when his agent made that statement about y'all just making it worse for him and y'all, you know, put more pressure. I'm like, man, please.
That's like my job saying, Adrian, you coming into work on Monday? Don't remind me about work.
Right, work.
Don't talk to me about that.
You see what you guys are doing?
You got to be
stressed out.
kidding me. But look, as far as I'm concerned about him, I'll be wondering about where he want me to put this money I'm taking from him because I'll just keep, look, in fact, I would make him have to fight for his check. I would just keep the money and then let him have to work it out afterwards. You don't show, you don't get paid. You want to fight for the check? Show me some, you know, proof to get paid. But it won't
That's
be.
what they're doing.
Seems like we all.
Where,
And
if
I'm
you
all
if
for
you have
that.
mental issues, where are the records? Where the documentation? You gotta have a documentation. And how can you say I don't want to show you documentation? Like, what are we doing
I'm
here?
all for
The
that.
Sixers aren't wrong.
Yeah,
Look,
it's
because-
like we all saying before too. We was like, you know, like what other team really want him at this point
That's
though
what
too?
I'm
Like,
saying.
Well,
I
that's
don't
why
even
he
know.
probably backtracked and said it was, you know, you're testing my mental ability and not my mental state. Because once you say that you have a mental issue, now everybody else is like, well, why are we gonna take over somebody with a mental issue?
yeah,
Although people with disability do deserve a job. I'm not saying they don't.
Absolutely.
And again, what they're saying is he's just proving that it's more about the money. Because, you know, when they say stuff about he'll show up at the last minute at the meeting, stand
Right.
in the back of the
Can you
room.
imagine that?
Look, the coach don't
Like
even
the
see him. And they
elephant
be
in the
like, no,
room?
he
Isn't it like $8 million? I'm showing up too. What
It's a
wheel me
football
in.
field, but it's 300 and something thousand a game or per
yeah, 370-some thousand a game or something.
game, right? And so
We had a team
He
meeting,
like-
and
he
in the
look-
middle of the meeting,
he
he
like,
comes
look,
sneaking through.
I'm here. All right, bye-bye.
I'm here.
He,
Throw
at
me
the
the
end of
ball.
players
I'm
turning
gonna throw it
around,
back and walk
so
out.
long.
He was here.
At
I
the end
saw
of
him.
the
He was
road-
standing back
at
there
the-
near the door. I saw him.
It's a bad look for the NBA.
And so again, right. So I think more so like y'all said, the NBA about had enough of him
yeah,
and his antics. It's more like, do you want to play basketball or not? Because I don't know if y'all remember I made this statement like, you know, I'm almost thinking like he don't even want to play basketball. He might want to be in Hollywood somewhere or something like, because you know, what does it take you to get on the court and shoot the ball and earn that 300 and something thousand?
If it's your passion, you're
That's
gonna
what you
want
like
to.
to do, right? If that's what you really like to do.
Anybody see the documentary that's been running nonstop on Showtime? Kevin Garnett, All Things Are Possible, something like that.
no,
I want to say it premiered over the weekend, but that's the first time I saw it, and it ran in succession. I mean, it was over. Every time I took a nap and woke up, it was back on again. It's really good, but it shows this man's grind from the time he was in middle school to, I mean, and his documentary was so, oh, he's saying something. Oh, I think he said he's gonna jump on. Oh, please let me jump in on the next one. Okay, I'm sorry. So, he didn't even talk about a family. It was only about basketball and how he just trained constantly and everything he did. Like, I didn't know they called him the ticket because he was the ticket. He led the team. I mean, I didn't notice about Kevin Garnett. I knew Kevin Garnett was good. And it's so funny because, you know, I grew up but when I, you know, as I was growing up, I watched and he was there and it's like, man, Kevin Garnett is gone. But he was so phenomenal. I remember him, of course, at the Timberwolves.
right?
But then when he went to Boston, I secretly, because I don't want to say this to everybody in the world, like I was a Boston fan.
Oh
Like,
my God.
What is wrong with you?
it's blasphemous. I know.
Rocky?
Blasphemous.
You're right.
Do you know that that's the Cowboys?
What's
of
next? I was gonna
basketball?
say, what's next?
I
Where's
know.
the star?
I know.
You ain't
No.
right.
Star.
You ain't right. You ain't right.
That was a fun team to watch, though. And I liked Kevin Garnett. And I
Isn't
like
it
Rondo.
Al Horford is back with Boston. Like even when he was here, I was thinking. Like,
Al Horford went back to Boston? I
yeah.
didn't know that. That's
When
just
he
like
was
I'm happy for Cam going back to the Panthers. I'm
Mhm.
happy for Al to go back and end his career there and get your,
Yeah, but what I'm
your
saying,
jersey up the Raptors.
it took me a year when he came here to get used to him because we hated Boston. Like they whooped our asses during the playoffs that year. So to have him come here, it was like, he was playing hard, but I just couldn't see it. I just wasn't with it. And he always just he jumped around and back to. I was like, that's where he probably belongs. Like, I don't.
Well, he's not on the Sixers, so
Okay.
He should play somewhere.
Yeah, at least he plays somewhere. Okay, all right.
What about Bryce Harper? Hopefully he'll get that MVP. He won all the other awards.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah,
that's impressive. And I mean, I didn't watch not one baseball game, but
really, not one.
No,
yeah.
no.
It's surprising to me that he's an MVP when we did so terribly.
Because it's based on individual play, and
Right.
individual.
That's if you seen the segment after the play when the playoffs started and we were no longer in the running, we talked about Bryce Harper's accolades and how well he did and why he needs help. He can't do it by himself. He needs a surrounding team that can support him and make it to the playoffs. I mean, we were in second place for a lot of the season. It's not like we were in the cellar, but he needs a supporting cast. But it's just good to see that. I mean, he's not a superstar forever. You gotta find some way to get him. All right. Well, that's our bottom line. We have the Sixers coming up tomorrow, going out west, and we're gonna finish this segment first because we're not gonna keep Adrienne on if she doesn't want to talk about boxing. So, you want to listen? Okay. Well, listen. Oh, all right. Rocky, we're going to talk about boxing. Upcoming boxing matches. We have Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford on November 20th. What is your prediction?
Well, I think Terrence Porter. I don't know anything about
Terrence
Porter. You got Terrence Crawford and Sean Porter.
Well, Terrence Porter gonna win.
Be nice if he was fighting.
He was fighting. He would win.
I go Terrence Crawford in 5. I'm just saying. Sean Porter time is over for me.
Sean Porter is going to make that fight very interesting because of his style.
Mm-hmm.
It is not going to be an easy fight for Bud, especially being off so long. That may be a very, very, very big test for Bud because of the layoff. That is going to be, it might end up being the fight of the year. Me personally, just my own opinion, because it's going to be one of those, will of a champion fights.
When was the last time Sean Porter fought?
Sean Porter fought probably within here. I don't know, but Bud maybe. I think maybe Sean Porter maybe fought once or twice, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure, but I know Bud has been off for a while.
When is the fight?
November 20th.
That's this weekend.
2 weeks. Not next
Saturday.
Weekend.
That's Saturday.
This weekend?
This weekend, Mickey. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we're at the 15th. Today's the 15th.
It's coming up.
Your daughter's birthday.
Oh,
The 15th.
Yikes.
I gotta go to it. No, not today. All right. Well, what's your prediction?
Oh,
Rocky, you bet. Do you bet?
I do bet. Absolutely.
Okay. You're damn right.
Yeah, you damn right.
What's your prediction?
I would say Sean Porter. I'm going that way.
Really?
I'm going with Porter too.
Really? I can't wait to laugh in your face. Like, no.
I can't wait.
I'm going with Porterfield.
I don't know.
What? Porterfield. You just.
I don't know. The
Do you
layoff
remember
is
the Porterfield? I do remember the Porterfield.
Adrienne and Rocky are going for Sean Porter. Any particular round, or you think it's one the distance?
No, I'm saying 12. It ain't gonna be no. Yeah, I'm saying 12.
He ain't gonna just knock him out. Come on.
Yeah.
I remember the last time
say-
Sean Porter been stopped.
Yeah, I say I don't think he can stop. Oh, he might have been maybe once, twice. But yeah, he's.
I remember the last time it's been that.
The
long.
last time he got hit was by the doctor, and he looking for him.
I mean, Earl Spence. I mean, it wasn't a walk in the park for Earl Spence to fight him.
That's what Quick said.
So what's your prediction, Kevin Lou?
I'm liking Crawford.
You think it's gonna go to distance?
Definitely if it go to distance, Crawford.
Okay. All right. Well, those are our predictions. And we watched a good fight on Saturday. Mungwin,
That's not his name.
Jaime. Is it Jaime? Jaime Mungwin. Mungua.
Did you watch it?
Gabriel Rosado. I did, but you know the names, you know, the boxing trunks have the names on it. Mungua and Rosado. That was a really good fight. Mungua won, but that was like a pit pat.
Yeah, he beat
It was the
Rosado
Mexican
up.
fighter versus the Puerto Rican fighter.
He beat
and
Rosado
they
up.
were, that was a
He
great
beat
fight.
Rosado down.
That was a great
You
fight.
beat him up or down?
I ain't see.
He beat him. He thought he won, but he didn't. His corner was like,
Mm.
you didn't win.
Yeah, he really thought he won. He went the distance, but
Clearly.
Make a decision. Mm.
Yeah,
nah,
no.
And
No.
Nope.
not good.
both.
All
Who
right.
plays Monday Night Football?
Did you tell him the
I don't
results?
know.
And Canelo knocked Caleb Plant out. And
He
what
knocked
was
him
it,
out
the
really good.
9th or 10th one?
Yeah, he
I'm not sure.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was good. And Monday Night Football
And he
is
was doing good at
the
the
Rams
beginning.
and the 49ers.
Yeah,
Mm.
you got Odell Beckham's playing tonight.
Yeah, he just
Oh,
got
boy.
traded.
Mm.
Again.
Odell.
Oh, great. All right. So we got MNF on, and I look forward to it because I'll be sleeping about an hour. But thanks, crew. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to send you last week's segment. It was really good. Take a look at it. Send it to a friend. Don't forget to tell people to like, subscribe, and comment. And I look forward to talking to y'all and following up with you next week. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Peace out.
Yeah.